Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the McAuley Tucker Show. I'm your host, McAuley Tucker, and today we have a very special guest, Nathaniel. Nathaniel is a musician and video creator, and today we'll be talking with Nathaniel about how he started a YouTube trend in early November 2021. There is a musician, Twitch streamer, and YouTuber that goes by the name Critical, or also known as Charles White Jr. He is a very popular video creator known for making videos on commentaries. He is also very well known for his monotone voice and deadpan delivery of humorous commentary. He has about 4.8 billion views across all his platforms and is actively releasing content. It was on July 31st, 2021, where Nathaniel posted a video in which he dressed up as Critical's typical attire and copying his mannerisms, which made an impression of Critical's viral "woohoo, yeah baby" meme, which he screams "woohoo, yeah baby." The video gained over 29,800 views in 4 months. This started a viral internet trend amongst Critical's community, where people would make their own impression of the YouTuber Critical. It was started by Nathaniel playing Puerto Rican Moist Critical. This YouTube trend achieved viral status within his fanbase and on YouTube in November 2021. Today on the show, I thought it'd be a good idea to sit down with Nathaniel and just talk about being famous online for a short period of time and starting internet trends. First and foremost, I think it'd be a good question to ask Nathaniel, when did you become interested in filming and making videos and releasing them online?
Well, I've been making videos and stuff just for fun since I was in like middle school. Like I think my YouTube channel dates back to like early high school and stuff, and like I still have my like earliest video up there. I think the first video I ever uploaded was like me doing like a fake kind of like outrage video where I was like complaining that they need to make another Shrek movie. It's, very high concept humor, I know, but media that I keep going back to the most is probably music. Just because mainly in terms of accessibility, like it's the easiest one for me to go back to. Because in terms of what it takes for me to make something, like it can just be me and the DAW, like just me on FL Studio working on something little by little. Otherwise, with something like film, it's a much more intensive process. That's like, film to me is like the hardest to like really get into, especially, I don't know, like if you're working with other people as well, like it's hard to film stuff on your own by yourself. If you really want to make something um, like very artistic or whatever, like if you're just filming like funny little skits or whatever, that's not too difficult to do by yourself. But if you want to do like a short or something like that's a little much more involved process. And in terms of art, that's just I've done like drawing and painting like my whole life. So pretty much like since I was like in elementary school, that's kind of been a constant in my life. So that's kind of like something I go back to every now and then. But I would say music is the one that kind of has my attention the most at the moment.
And I remember looking on your YouTube channel, just kind of like looking through your art. I remember you uploaded like a video, like a presentation with the art. And I was curious if you've ever considered making a series, like, or a stop motion series with it.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, that video was a video, I believe, are you talking about the MS Paint gallery? Yeah. So that was like, yeah, that video was a bunch of drawings that I had made in school during one of my classes. Like, I in that class, I usually got my work done early. So the rest of the time I would just spend time drawing on MS Paint and just goofing off with my friends. But like, yeah, I would love to, I don't know, like I enjoy that process of just like making goofy stuff, like drawing goofy things and especially like animation. Like I enjoy animation quite a bit, and I enjoy the process. It's just a very like intensive process that like takes up a lot of time. And if I had more time, I would definitely like get more into that because I really do enjoy it, and comics as well. That's something I enjoy. Like I made a comic a couple years ago, and like it was just a very short thing, but like I really enjoyed that process, and it was really interesting to me because like what I kind of found out was that it kind of like combined a lot of my interests, like the process of drawing a comic, um, the way you have to like frame the pages and stuff. I found that it was similar to like directing almost, like, and I found that really interesting, like the way you have to frame the comic, the panels, and the way you have to pace it as well. That was super interesting to me. So I really enjoyed that, and that's something I would really like to do. But yeah, like I said, it just takes up a lot of time, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like there is you have the ability of drawing very unique pieces, as I've seen and as others can check out. And you should definitely see, look into different outlets that you could use that skill. Kind of moving on to this moist critical situation. Charlie White, very well-known content creator. 4 billion views across all his videos. He's got like a lot of like millions of subscribers. And you just like did this impression. Was this anything new to you? Doing impressions, making characters, or playing a character.
It was. I mean, I feel like I've done like I guess like impressions and stuff, but like not like this. Like I don't know, like especially have it like take off like this did. And for this one specifically, it was like I've kind of gotten it a little bit. Like in the past, people have told me I look like him. Uh, like I remember there's been several times where it was like I was scrolling through my YouTube feed and my girlfriend was like saw my screen and saw a thumbnail of one of Charlie's videos that had like his face on it, and she was like, "Is that you?" And I was like, "No, this is a different person completely." But and I was like, "Yeah, he does kind of look like me, but no, this is a different person." And then like I think he has a pretty easily imitatable voice, And so like the "What's up, everybody," but like like just being able to like do the impression and get into that mind space was not too difficult because like I had been watching his videos for a while, and like I kind of got what his sense of humor was, so I wanted to add like really play into the character, I guess. But
That's awesome, man. And like, did you think anything? Like, were you thinking, "Oh, this video won't go anywhere. It's just a fun little thing." Like, what were you expecting of this video? Was it just like
I definitely didn't expect for it to get as big as it did, like at all. Like, and that's typically the case with anything I make and put online. Like, I I I honestly have like no expectations for this stuff I do. Like, um, so obviously it was super surprising to see that people were like kept posting and sharing it. And the biggest surprise was on that day where I found out that he made a video about it. That was like a huge surprise for me. I that like because once I saw that it was taking off, I was like, okay, cool, this is pretty fun. It's people are seeing this, and maybe one day he'll get to see it. But the fact that he made a whole entire video about it was really surprising to me. And yeah, that was a pretty wild experience, to be honest. Yeah, I feel super lucky because um, I don't know, I know some people work a lot to like make something that gets seen, and just me doing this silly little impression gets a bunch of attention out of nowhere. And yeah, like I definitely feel very lucky, and yeah, I didn't see it coming at all. So yeah.
right when it was going viral? People were talking about it, at least in his community. Were you getting annoyed by it? I know some people who make things over time are like, it's getting annoying. I don't like this anymore. Let's stop talking about
Right. So it wasn't too big of a deal for me. Like, I just kind of like kept it in my head that, it's cool that people are watching this. I'm just going to keep doing my own thing. Like, I'm not going to like define my whole life just on this impression that I did this one time. Like, yeah, sure, it's like the most like popular thing I've done. And like, if I keep doing it, maybe I'll get more attention, but that's not necessarily the type of attention that I think I would want. Even as it was happening, I was like, this is great, and but I'm just gonna keep doing my own thing. And it got to a point where I was like, I could barely even keep up with the meme at a certain point. Like more Moistverse content was coming out, and I was like, I couldn't even keep up. I wasn't keeping up with the videos or anything, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. But yeah, I have my own life. I gotta yeah.
Thanks so much, Nathaniel, for coming on the show today. Next, we're going to be moving to our guest, Johnny Boy, a.k.a. Jasper, and we're going to talk with him about his videos going viral on YouTube. Johnny Boy, a.k.a. Jasper, is a singer and a YouTube creator, and he uploaded several videos onto the YouTube platform several years ago where he basically would sing the Halo theme song in a variety of different places. Halo, for those who also don't know, is a very, very popular game and has a really fantastic theme song. And Jasper would sing the theme song in a silo, in a tunnel, even underwater. And his videos during the pandemic acquired many, many views, ranking to about 25 million views on YouTube. And so today on the show, I wanted to bring him on as well to talk about this and what it was like having these videos go viral and just acquire 25.9 million views. So, first and foremost, hopefully you're having a great day. My first question would be, what kind of got you started in this this entertainment,
Well, I always have had a deep passion for music since I was a very young age because I grew up in a musical family. My father, who was a farmer, he was actually a guitarist before he was farming and doing all that sort of a thing. And my mum was always a singer. And so I was kind of raised around this environment where everyone was playing music. And I kind of picked it up myself and began singing. And I developed piano lessons back when I was in kindergarten. But I always knew that I was not able to really sheet read music. So I would just like kind of leg it and kind of play by memory and that sort of a thing. So that's kind of how I got started with my music and that sort of a thing. And, my parents would drive me to talent quests, Stedfords, all that sort of a thing. And then then we moved to a town called Wollongong, because my parents wanted me to pursue what I wanted to do, which was music. And so they took me to one of the performing arts schools here. And so that's how I got started with music pretty much.
You mentioned a few things there, growing up in a family that had both farming and music work. Would you say that farming, did that interest you at all, or would you say music was something that more interests you than farming?
Well, the thing is that my father, he ended up picking farming over music, but they kind of had the idea that I didn't really want to do farming as much and that I wanted to pursue my music and stuff. But for those 11 years that I was raised on the farm, I was doing all sorts of farm work and walking around and just really having a lot of fun there. Yeah.
And you mentioned, going into, traveling around and entering competitions. Were you successful for the most part in these competitions that you've entered over the years?
For the most part, I was successful.
Well, that's awesome. And so, your love of music impacted, your content creating. You uploaded a video on YouTube. I'm trying to figure out how many years ago it was. It was 3 years ago. And it was you singing the Halo theme song. And for those who don't know, Halo is a very, very, very popular video game. You were singing the Halo theme song in a silo. And this video got 12 million views. That's crazy. Can you just tell us, when you record this video, what was going through your mind? when you did this?
Well, the thing is that I've been doing the Halo theme song videos for quite some time now. I started actually in 2017, and I was making. It was always just like a fun thing that I was doing. It was just off the whim, and I didn't really pay much like importance to it because it was just like 50 seconds of some content of me just going somewhere and singing something. And I always think it's fun to go into like places like that where they're really big and there's a huge echo and just play around with the reverb that's in those places. And I started off in because my father was a farmer. I started off in his silo, which was 500 tons, which means that the silo could contain 500 tons of grain. And when I did this, I thought it was really cool. And I ended up going to YouTube, and I just decided to try and find a title that would, attract people for fun. And it was Kid Sings Halo theme song in a 500-ton silo. So when that happened, over the course of a few years, it garnered about 100,000 views, and I was amazed by that because that's the first time something had ever been that successful. But then my father's, our neighboring farmer, had an 800-ton silo, and it was huge, right? There were two of them, and they were absolutely huge. And I was about 16 at the time. I started these videos when I was about 14, 15, and I was 16. And we go to this place, and these silos are just looming over me. I'm like, holy crap, this is huge. And so I went inside, and I just could hear how echoey it was, and it was just amazing. And so I ended up singing and filming it, and yeah, I uploaded it to YouTube and didn't give it a second thought because I thought, I almost thought, like this probably won't get as big as the other videos I've made because the other ones have had like 100,000 views and I can't beat that. And then 2020 came around, and I think something that really boosted the views, I would say, was people were in lockdown in COVID, and I reckon that everyone was on YouTube just watching random stuff. And my videos happened to pop up, and that video was the one that boomed, and yeah, it was amazing.
That's crazy. Do you know if any famous YouTubers had reviewed it or watched it? Because when I was looking at your channel, I'm like, I wonder if if PewDiePie, to say like a name like that, PewDiePie, or if anybody had reviewed the videos. Do you know if anybody had done that to get all these views?
I do know that there were a lot of people sharing the posts on Reddit. I found out recently, and people were making memes about it, which was really funny. And they were reposting the video, and it was circulating around Reddit. But in terms of YouTubers, I don't know much YouTubers or influencers in the early days that were watching the videos, but when they kind of garnered views, it got a bit crazy. But in the early days, there was actually a guy, he's a YouTube commentator called Cyrus, and he ended up subscribing to my YouTube channel. And I saw this, and I was like, wow, I've seen this guy before, and he's subscribed to my channel now. And I think there was another person named Gokanaru, and he was involved in something a few years ago. And I recognized him from that, and I was just seeing all these people subscribing to me. I was like, hold on a minute, this is insane. But in the later days, influencers started to check out my stuff more. I know for one, after my video where my latest Halo video, where I went into the hospital and I sang after having my brain surgery. After that happened, I think the Syndicate project was on a stream, and he watched my videos, and someone shared it to me on Facebook, and I was like, wow, that's insane that the Syndicate has been watching my stuff. and it's just amazing.
Yeah, and so like your thought process, like when all this happened to you, like I know you also, as you mentioned earlier, there's a whole series of you singing the Halo theme song. Like, your second most popular is you singing it in a swimming pool. Just all this happening to you, like, how did this impact you? Would you say what was your thought process like? Were you shocked? Were you surprised? What was going through your mind? Like even to this day, like. This doesn't happen to a lot of people. Talking to Nathaniel when he started the Moist Critical trend, he would have never imagined this happening. He would have never imagined it in all his days, starting a trend, let alone going viral. For you, what's going through your mind?
I was more shocked than anything, and I was really happy. I was shocked in a happy way, because I was happy that people were recognizing my videos, and people were seeing me at school, and they would say, I saw you on YouTube, and I was like, oh, and it was amazing. But I'd say that when I was filming the videos, like for the swimming pool and stuff, my dad and my brother knew that this was happening and that I was going viral. And so we decided to have some fun with it. And I always said to them, I want to try and do this underwater just for fun. And so we copied the title for the older videos, and we decided to be a little bit funny and actually measure the metrics of the pool and put it in the title just to see if people would watch it. And they still did. And I can't believe that happened. And, I was just having fun at that moment. And, all my videos, whenever I do them, I always make sure I'm having fun doing them. If I'm not having fun, then that doesn't work. And that's really important for when I'm making the videos. But in terms of my feelings when everything was happening at the time, I would say I was more happy shocked in a happy way. Right. Yeah.
In this video, the silo, this is a question I was going to ask. Have you ever returned to the silo that you sang that song in to do anything else?
I've actually, a few years ago, I went back to my dad's silo, but because of the timing of when I'm here and when I'm on the farm, usually I'll go down to the farm during the autumn and winter because of the seasonal allergies I get there. But when I'm down there, it's usually when the silos are full of grain. So, but before that, before my seasonal allergies started to worsen a little bit, we did at some stages go into the silos again, and it was really fun to go back there and check it out, and it's really fun.
What sort of things are you doing now? After this, I know you do music. Just kind of share to our listeners, like, what you're doing now.
So, I began promoting my music on YouTube. I've always wanted to do. Ever since I was about 15 years old. So, about when the Halo videos began, kind of kicking off, I always knew that I wanted to be a musician, and eventually. Because of these videos, I garnered a bit of money, and it was enough for me to fund paying for my music setup. And yeah, all of it was funded from YouTube. And basically, I started writing music a while ago now, but I really wanted to start recording them and getting them out there. And so because of lockdown and everything that was going on, I decided at the end of 2020, with my YouTube money, that I should try and buy some software that works, because I was about 15 years old when I started using FL Studio. And at that point, I couldn't use it. Like, I just didn't know how to work it out, and it just wasn't really right for me. I had the choice between buying Ableton and FL. And I ended up choosing FL because I knew that people like Martin Garrix, Avicii, all those sorts of artists were using FL. And, I had heard other people saying that the Chainsmokers and Joji were all using Ableton Live. And so I kind of was at this impasse, and I chose FL. Hindsight, looking back, I should have probably chosen Ableton, but eventually that was about 2018 that I bought FL. And I was kind of tinkering around with it, getting to know how to use DAWs and that sort of a thing. And eventually I got Ableton Live, and I just immediately fell in love with it. It was just so easy to use, and it was just perfect for me. Everything was laid out, and it was just there for me. And, you know, it was just perfect for me. So in late 2020, I began kind of working on some music, and I started recording some songs, and they became some of the songs that you can hear on my latest album, my first ever album, and some of my singles, like How It Used to Be. And I at that point I was, you know, messing around with my keyboard and just seeing how it all worked out. And yeah, it is what it is now, and I've just been working on music ever since.
That's really great and encouraging just to hear this, you know, like, you know, continuing and working on music. Do you have any goals that you're wanting to accomplish with your music?
I would like to be able to make it a money sort of maker. But first and foremost, I want to just keep enjoying it, and hopefully start performing at venues and just increasing my brand, I think, is the most important thing. In terms of music, my main goal is to accomplish writing at least one song of every genre before I retire from music. And yeah, so I'm trying to be very eclectic with my music, which is why all my music's all over the place on Spotify, and it's just all different.
That's crazy. This is going to kind of put you on the spot. Before, I usually ask my guests a message they want to pass on to the listeners, but I was going to put you on the spot if you're interested. Do you want to sing the Halo theme song now, but on Zoom?
So I actually wouldn't mind that. The only problem is that I've had COVID, and I've just come out of it. Okay, here we go.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. I thought that'd be super fun for you to do that. And as I said, I always ask my guests, what would you like to pass on to the listeners who are listening right now to this entire show?
What I would love to say is, honestly, if you have a goal in mind and you really want to do it, please try and do it. If you have a passion, follow it and try and make it yours, and really do try your best in everything that you do, and you will get somewhere. I guarantee it.
Well, thank you so much, Johnny, for coming on to the show today and just sharing with us what it was like having your videos go viral. Also, thank you, Nathaniel, for also sharing how you started a trend on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for listening as well, and I will be sure to include all the places you can find our guests today. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Thank you.